This is an article from the Express. I truly am starting to believe that they are a Russian asset. That they have someone within their editorial staff up high that is trying to produce propaganda for Russia. The Express. Let me read this. The ISW added they could make such an attack and still threaten the Baltic states and Finland with the forces already present there. I guess they haven't watched the video of Bradleys literally ripping their forces apart. A single Bradley wiping out 5-6 vehicles and 100 fucking guys in less than 30 seconds. I guess they haven't watched that. Russian ground forces would be covered by a dense air defense network of S-300, S-400, and S-500 long-range anti-air, anti-missile systems with overlapping coverage of the entire front. NATO would be unable to defend against such an attack with the forces currently in Europe. So, I can tell you right now that there's not a single person at Express that understands what a high-speed anti-radiation missile is. Not a single one of them. What systems do you think the Iraqis were using in Iraq? What air defense systems do you think they were using in Iraq? They weren't made in Switzerland. And it took 24 hours, and they were terrified of turning those things on. Because the very second they turned it on, they disappeared into tiny little pieces. And that was the old HARM missile. The old HARM that needed a signal to follow. The new HARM, when they turn that unit on, and within seconds, that missile knows the exact coordinates of that missile system. And you might stop some, but you're not, they call it the H in HARM is for high speed. They're not an easy missile to stop, especially if you're going to catch 2, 3, or 4 of them at a time. So let me tell you people at the Express what's going to happen with your S-300, S-400, and S-500 systems. Overlapping. You're going to have overlapping piles of crap laying on the ground burning. That's the ones that do actually launch and don't fall on the ground or fall on your own troops or actually go out and turn around and come back and blow themselves up. I do believe someone at the Express is a Russian asset. Maybe more than one. The United States would need to move large numbers of American soldiers to the entire eastern NATO border. What the fuck? These guys cannot even take a single destroyed town from Ukraine, and they're going to take on Switzerland, Finland, Denmark. They're going to take on all these other places with air forces? Really? Where the hell does the Express get its military acronym from? I'm trying to understand why they don't understand the technology that's available today. I really don't. Okay? So all you need to do with these overlapping systems is you go up there, you fire harms at these S4, 3, 4, and 500 systems. I can guarantee you, just like in Iraq, the ones that aren't burning piles of shit on the ground, those guys are terrified to turn the systems on. What they would do is they would turn them on for a second and try to locate and then turn them off and just fire. But we learned from that, okay? We learned from that. The new HARM missile, when you turn on your radar, that thing is geolocating exactly where you are in a second or two. And now it doesn't matter if you turn your system off. Now you can't guide your missiles. You have no radar that's going out there going, here's where the target is. They were just blindly fucking shooting in Iraq because they were terrified to turn those systems on. You see, Ukraine doesn't have an air force and it doesn't have HARM missiles. If it did, I guarantee you that more than 3/4 of those systems would be burning piles of shit on the ground right now. This is propaganda, okay? They have no idea what's going on in Afghanistan, in Iraq, let alone Ukraine, because they're not studying history. Those systems did not work when faced with an Air Force that had missiles capable of tracking and destroying the S-300, 400, or 500 that the Iraqi Air Force military was using. History is there, and it's ancient history. Those are ancient, old technologies. Okay? The new high-speed anti-radiation missiles that we have will instantly identify and geolocate these systems, and that's it. They're fucking done. Does the Express not know this, or do they have an asset there that's trying to say, oh, don't give them any more money because it's just a waste of time. Russia's going to win because Russia's undefeatable. Well, what I saw, the last 3 videos I saw was a single Bradley covered by smoke moving up onto a Russian position, and the video was so horrifying that I just stopped watching it. That Bushmaster, I made a video a year and a half ago, talking about the Bushmaster. And basically what it does is it throws armor penetrating or explosive grenades that are timed. In other words, you tell that grenade that you're firing when to explode with a laser. And it just goes bang, 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 right down that line of trenches that the Russians are in. And not a single inch of those trenches, okay, is safe. Not a single inch. The demonstration that I saw of the Bushmaster cannon shooting those rounds, and the way it works is the number of spins. You just tell it, when you rotate this many times, you explode. And it doesn't just throw shrapnel forward, okay? If that cannon round goes past you and explodes, it actually throws lethal projectiles backwards. And what I saw was 3 armored personnel carriers. It took around 5 seconds, 10 seconds for that Bradley to destroy them, because you can also fire armor penetrating rounds that explode. And the spalling and the amount of damage, I can imagine what the inside of those vehicles looked like. They were probably just wet with human body parts. And then it went right down that tree line. Bang, 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 bang. Exactly as I said a year and a half ago. And that was 1 Bradley. 1. So Ukraine brings in all of their air defenses to stop the drones from hitting a single Bradley. And then that single Bradley goes in and wipes out 300 people and 3 or 4 vehicles in a matter of seconds. That's what's happening there, because Russia doesn't care about its people. The losses they are taking would be completely unacceptable in any Western military. I don't care what Western military, any Western military, the amount of blood and bone they are willing to throw at a line for a destroyed town that has zero use as anything strategic. They just want to prove a point that we can take land from you. Well, if you take a cup of water and you start pouring it out, sooner or later that cup is empty, and that is what is happening to Russia. Let me explain to the people at the Express, okay? People in Russia are now starting to say, we've had enough. Do you not know that? Because I didn't read that in your article. I didn't read in your article about when Putin was doing his 4-hour speech, the questions that were popping up on the screen were like, hey, when are we going to get out of this war? How come you're living in a different reality than us? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't see this in your article here. What I see is you trying to make people afraid of Russia's military capability, which, oh, look at all the shells they got. Yeah, they got them from fucking Korea, and they destroyed the barrels on their weapons. So now they have plenty of shells from Korea, but they burnt the barrels out on their weapons because they're shitty. because they're crap. American harm missiles, they're not crap. American Bradleys, they're not crap. I think the Express has been infiltrated. I did an article the other day because there's a few news sources that when I read it, I'm like, these people have no idea what's going on at the front. None. Russia cannot take Ukraine. Okay? They had their ass thrown out of Kyiv in a matter of days. That's when they were at full strength. Russia has faced no modern Western equipment. None, other than the anti-aircraft or anti-aircraft Patriot systems that we sent. Yeah, Russia's staying away from them. They don't go near those. Okay? They don't. Javelin missiles. They don't want to go near those. That's pretty much a guaranteed hit every single time. And when you see 20 or 30 Russian vehicles headed towards a position that has no functional use for the Russian military, it is literally destroyed in an hour. All you have is burning hulks and 800 dead Russians for nothing. Nothing. That would be unacceptable. Unacceptable in any Western military, but Russia doesn't care. You cannot win a war like that. Let me tell you, let me give you another piece of reality. Do you remember Vietnam Express? Do you assholes at Express remember Vietnam? Huh? Fleets of B-52s dropping hundreds of fucking bombs each, and they were still fighting in the end. We had to walk away with our tail between our legs. Why? Because Russia was helping them. Now you have all of the Baltic states and NATO saying we are now going to start pouring more weaponry into Ukraine. Pretty soon they're not going to need the United States. Ukraine is growing in strength every day. Yes, they're losing personnel, but they are growing in strength every day, whereas Russia is being bled out because they don't care about their military forces. Now, people are going, well, I'm not signing up. Oh, well, you're going to have to conscript more guys because now I guess Russia says, well, look, we've emptied out our prisons. We've done something good. What a diseased mind. That is a diseased way of thinking. Okay? Really. There's something wrong up here with Vladimir Putin and the way that he wants to conduct this war, because blood and bone means nothing to him. And I can tell you right now, it is everything. One person or a couple of people behind enemy lines with the right training can wreak the havoc of thousands of guys with AR-15s or M16s or Kalashnikovs or whatever that are on the line shooting at one another. In Vietnam, they figured it was 28,000 rounds were fired by every Marine or Army personnel to kill one North Vietnamese. 28,000 rounds. You need artillery, and you need air power. And the problem with the artillery, again, when Russia ran out of shells, they started getting them from China and North Korea or Russian factories, and they're shit. And now, instead of now you got plenty of shells, and your barrels are all fucked up. I guess people forget that. I guess the people at Express don't understand that you have to change those barrels out regularly. See? So I think that the Express, again, that's a Murdoch property, I believe. Okay, I think that they're a complete Russian asset. The Murdoch family has been trying to tear down democracy in the United States for years. I believe they are a danger. They are a danger, okay? As far as I'm concerned, every Murdoch property on the fucking planet needs to be shut down and wiped off the face of the earth right now. I think they are Russian assets. Fox News. You know, they have a base that they need. They've got about 8 to 10 million Americans that they live on like a vampire bat. They just suck them dry. They lie and tell them exactly what they want to hear. Oh, the economy's failing. Oh, Bidenomics, 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 Bidenomics is destroying us. Kudlow, the dumbest fucking financial advisor on earth. Oh, Bidenomics, Biden. And then all of a sudden they have to read a report that says, oh, 225,000 new jobs created this month, non-farm. Uh-oh. Oh, well, that's pretty good. And that's it. That's what you hear. And then the next day it's Bidenomics, Bidenomics destroying America. It's all, if it wasn't so tragic, it would be hilarious. Okay? That is the Murdoch family. That is Fox News. Okay? They are anti-democracy. They're anti-American. They're definitely anti-truth. Okay? So Express, you want to hire me? Give me $500K a year and per diem, and I will come and try to straighten you guys out a little bit so you don't look so foolish.